You know, when you were a kid and you just zoned out, or maybe you still zone out. For me, it was at the grocery store. When I was the most dissociative I had ever been in my life, I would stand at the grocery store completely unable to move, totally frozen, not knowing to get apples or oranges. And it meant so much. I could not imagine making that decision, and it would completely stop me in my tracks. And I would just zone out sometimes for 5 minutes, and I would get stuck there. This is not that. We are going to use your eyes and your ability to zone out in a positive way because sometimes your brain just actually needs you to relax your eyes, take a wider view, and zone out for a moment. This is going to be something that helps you if you are an overthinker, somebody who gets really like blinders on when it comes to solving a problem, and you end up at the end of the day with a headache or this like heavy feeling in your head. One of my favorite somatic practices, one of my favorite ways to switch our awareness so that you can find some relief in your body is the way we work with a soft gaze. So, when your nervous system is in like a high state of activation, when your body thinks that there's a really big problem to solve or a threat or an emergency and it's always happening, one of the things that happens with your system is that your vision gets very narrow and pointed. But when we're in a sympathetic state, actually, all of our senses shift. Our hearing changes, our vision changes, and we're going to work with this ability to focus really deeply and then also zoom out. So if you've been noticing that you're focusing really deeply, even if there's no emergency, no problem, and you're using your laser eyes on something, we're going to allow your eyes to relax. So you can do with me here right now. If please don't do this while you're driving, or I mean, I doubt you're operating heavy machinery at the moment, but like this is something that you want to give yourself a moment on the couch or at the dinner table, or even better, sitting out on the beach or something. So, so simple. You're just going to let your eyes soften. I like to achieve this by imagining and kind of like glazing them over a little bit or almost blurring them. So you can experiment with this here with me right now. And I can see I'm almost like changing the focus, right? That's exactly what I'm doing with my eyes. I'm changing the focus. So just blurring them. So when you glaze over a little bit, you'll notice that what's right in front of you kind of comes out of focus, and what's to your periphery starts to become more available to you. And this gives your system signals of safety. There's nothing so urgent right now or emergency. There's not an emergency. So we don't need to be focusing so deeply right now. And when we give that signal to our brain is like, okay, cool. We can take a deep breath. We don't have to think so quickly. We can turn off the adrenaline for a moment. And when you do this, usually some of the things that people say are like, actually, the other day somebody said, I can't even remember what we were talking about because my brain just went quiet. This is what I want for your brain to just go quiet for a moment. Imagine that, right? So as you're practicing this, as you've let your eyes relax and opened up your peripheral vision, one of the first things that usually happens is like a deep breath will come through. Giving you a moment here. So glazing over isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes your brain just needs that, right? And you can do this any time that is safe, right? Any time where you don't need to be directly eyes on the road. And I think you'll notice that when you do, something settles inside of you and you kind of come back into your body a little bit. Let me know if you try this one and how it helped you. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to provide more nuance or more context because all of these practices, they're situational and they're dependent on your system and what you're going through and what you've been through. And some things will work for you and some things won't land with you, and that's perfectly okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing it wrong. Okay, I will see you next time.